Hello my dear students, welcome back to the second phase of online classes. I am Ricky Rai. I'll be teaching mathematics to you all. So in the first phase, I have taught chapter number 7, derivatives. I taught you how to differentiate standard function, composite, log, inverse, parametric, and function with respect to another function. Now today, in today's class, we are going to discuss about a very important topic, that is one of the most probable topics from derivative, and that is called L-Hospital's theorem. You will get this topic in, if you are using Suranjan Sa and Sabita Sa, you will get this topic in page number 237. Okay, so the name of the topic is L-Hospital's theorem. So let us start. So first I am going to explain the theory. The question will be of the form limit x tends to a fx divided by gx. The question will be of this form. So what you need to do is, you are going to put the value of x, which is a, it could be any constant, in the denominator. And when you put the value of x, on putting x equal to a in the denominator, we get 0. That is, limit x tends to a f of a divided by g of a. That means when you put x equal to a in the denominator will become 0. So once the denominator becomes 0, you can check also. If you don't want to check, it is given, it's always true that the numerator will also become 0. So this is called 0 by 0 form. Or if the denominator, when you put the value of x, if the denominator becomes undefined, the numerator also becomes undefined. So this is called 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity form. When you come across this form, then we use L-Hospital's theorem. So what L-Hospital's theorem says is, what you need to do is, you simply have to differentiate the function, the numerator and the denominator individually. Is that clear? Once you differentiate, the function changes and you are going to repeat the same process. That means you are going to put the value of x in the denominator. If you get 0, then again this is 0 by 0 form. You are going to apply L-Hospital one more time. You are going to repeat the process till you don't get 0 in the denominator. If you don't get 0 in the denominator, that itself is your answer. Because if you get 0 in the denominator, then any number divided by 0 is undefined. So that can't be our answer. So once again, we have started with the topic called L-Hospital's theorem. The question will be of the form limit x tends to a fx by gx. Step number 1, you are going to do it mentally. You are going to put the value of x in the denominator. If you get 0 or undefined, 0 or infinity, if the denominator is 0, numerator is bound to be 0. You can check. If the denominator is infinity, the numerator is also bound to be infinity. So this is called 0 by 0 form. What is it called? Everyone? It's called 0 by 0 form. Once you know it's a 0 by 0 form, we apply L-Hospital's theorem, and applying L-Hospital's theorem is not a problem. What you simply need to do is, you need to differentiate the numerator and the denominator separately. Once you differentiate, you get a different function. The function changes. Now after that, you put the value of x in the denominator and repeat the process till you don't get 0 in the denominator. So I'm going to make this concept more clear by giving you an example. This is exercise 7 subdivision 6, L-Hospital's theorem. Question number 2 subdivision 2. The question is, limit x tends to 0, 1 minus cos x divided by x square. So look at this question properly. So what did I tell you? First put the value of x as 0 in the denominator. So what do you get? 0 square is 0. So if the denominator is 0, the numerator is bound to be 0. So this is called 0 by 0 form. You can check also. Put the value of x as 0. Cos 0 is 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0. So once you know it's a 0 by 0 form, we apply L'Hospital's theorem. Applying L'Hospital's theorem. What did I tell you? You simply have to differentiate the function. Differentiation of 1, please. It is 0 minus differentiation of cos x. It is minus sin x, and differentiation of x square is 2x. Let me simplify this further. Limit x tends to 0. Once you differentiate, what are you getting? Sin x minus into minus is plus, sin x divided by 2x. This is what you got after applying L'Hospital's theorem. So you are going to repeat the same process again. So help me out, put x equal to 0 in the denominator. 2 into 0 is 0. You could have done it out here also, but just to simplify, I have done one more step. So 2 into 0 is 0. So if the denominator is 0, I told you the numerator is bound to be 0. So this is 0 by 0 form. So again applying L'Hospital's theorem. So applying L'Hospital's theorem means differentiate. What's the differentiation of sin x? It is cos x divided by, not quotient rule, individually, 2x. So 2 is a constant, differentiation of x is 1. So this is what you got. Now look at the x, look at the function and tell me, is it possible for you to get 0 in the denominator? Not possible at all, because there is no x term, there is a constant term, isn't it? So you know you are not getting 0. So the next thing you are going to do is, this is the end of the solution, what you need to do is just put the value of x. The moment you put the value of x, the limit sign or the symbol vanishes. So what do I get? Cos 0 divided by 2, cos 0 is 1, so 1 by 2 is your answer. So this is how you solve questions on L'Hospital's theorem. Is that okay? So this is the basics, because see, once you understand the basics, only the function keep on changing, but the method is going to be exactly the same. So let us do one IC question, a bit difficult. Difficult in the sense, maximum, please keep in mind, you have to use L'Hospital's theorem, maximum is 3 times, because you are not going to get long type of questions from this. So question number 5, subdivision 1, the question is, limit x tends to 0, e to the power x minus e to the power minus x minus 2x divided by x minus sin x, x minus sin x. This is an IAC question. So look at the question properly. So what did I tell you? The question is the form limit x tends to a fx by gx, where a is 0. The first thing you are going to do is you are going to put the value of x in the denominator. So do it mentally. So this becomes 0 minus sin 0 is 0. So 0 minus 0 is 0. So if the denominator is 0, you need not check, 0 by 0 form. You can just see e to the power 0, anything to the power 0 is 1. E to the minus 0 does not exist, so it becomes 0. Anything to the power 0 is 1. 1 minus 1, is that clear? Minus 2 into 0 is 0. So 1 minus 1 is 0. So 0 by 0 form. So what do I write? Applying L'Hospital's theorem. So you simply must apply the formulas and derivative. Ready? What's the differentiation of e to the power x? It's e to the power x minus, what is the differentiation of e to the power mx? It is m dot e to the power mx. So can I write e to the power minus x is minus 1 x, so minus comes in front. We are assuming that m is minus 1. So minus comes in front, minus into minus, plus e to the power minus x minus 2, differentiation of x is 1, divided by differentiation of x is 1 minus differentiation of sin x is cos x. So this is the changed function after you have applied L'Hospital's theorem. Is that okay? Now repeat the process till you don't get 0 in the denominator. So what is x? 0. Cos 0 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. So again you are getting 0 in the denominator. So this is called 0 by 0 form again. So applying L'Hospital's theorem, you get limit x tends to 0. Again differentiate. E to the power x is e to the power x. This minus comes in front. So minus e to the power minus x minus 2 1s are 2, differentiation of 2 is a constant, so 0. Divide the whole thing by differentiation of 1 is 0 minus cos x is minus sin x. So minus into minus is plus sin x. So this is what you got. Is that clear? So let me simplify this so that you understand properly. X tends to 0, limit x tends to 0. So you got e to the power x minus e to the power minus x divided by sin x. This is what we got. Now again apply the same rule. Put the value of x 0, sin 0 is again 0. So if the denominator is 0, numerator automatically becomes 0. So again this is 0 by 0 form. So applying L'Hospital's theorem, what do I get? Limit x tends to 0, differentiation of e to the power x is e to the power x, differentiate e to the power minus x. I have explained this. E to the power minus 1 x is minus comes in front, e to the power minus x. So minus into minus plus e to the power minus x divided by differentiation of sin x is cos x. So this is applying L'Hospital's theorem. Now repeat the same process again. Put x equal to 0. Cos 0 is no more 0 now. Cos 0 is 1. The value of cos 0 is 1. So you are not getting 0 in the denominator. That means this is the final part. So what you need to do is you just need to get rid of the limit. And how do you get rid of the limit? Just substitute the value of x. So what do you get? E to the power 0 plus e to the power minus 0 does not exist. So it's 0 only, divided by cos 0. So anything to the power 0 is 1 plus 1, cos 0 is 1. So your answer is 2. So this is how you solve a question on L'Hospital's theorem. So I'll just give you some time. Just pause the video for a second and take the screenshot of it. So this is how you do L'Hospital's theorem. In the previous years, like 2018, you got a very simple question on L'Hospital's theorem. You just need to understand the way it is to be done. So before I move on to the next question, let me make this clear that a question on L'Hospital's theorem will be of the form limit x tends to 0, x tends to a, fx by gx. What you need to do, put the value of x in the denominator. If you get 0, then automatically numerator will also be bound to be 0, 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity form. In these two cases only you can apply L'Hospital's theorem. And how do you apply L'Hospital's theorem? You differentiate the numerator and the denominator separately, and again use the same process. That means put the value of x in the denominator. You are going to repeat the process till you don't get 0 in the denominator. So this is how it is to be done. So moving on. Okay, let me do a little difficult question. ISC 2015, the question is limit x tends to 0, x minus sin x divided by x square sin x. This is ISC 2015. So normal way you can easily do it. Put the value of x. 0 square is 0. 0 into sin 0 is 0. So you can directly apply L'Hospital's theorem and start doing it. But this question, if you don't use the property which I am going to teach you, this question will be a bit difficult. The reason why this question will be a bit difficult is when you differentiate this, the denominator, don't you see that there is a multiplication sign out here? So you have to use product rule. Product rule means you get two terms. Again, when you differentiate there will be two terms, then again you need to differentiate, there will be 4 and so on. It keeps on increasing. It's not that you are not going to get the answer, but the solution is going to be very, very long. So I'm just going to teach you a technique. The reason why this question looks difficult is because of this sin x. If you can get rid of this sin x, then you no longer have to use product rule. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So there is a property on limits which says that limit x tends to 0, sin x by x is equal to 1. Sin x by x equal to 1, or you can even write this as limit x tends to 0, x by sin x also as 1. The reciprocal, sin x by x as 1. Is that clear? So if I want to use this property, sin x is already there. That means but x is not there, isn't it? So we'll just stick to this property only. Limit x tends to 0, sin x by x equal to 1. So what do I do? In order to remove sin x from the denominator, so you are going to do this whenever there is a multiplication with an algebraic expression and the trigonometrical expression is sine or tan. So can I write this as sin x divided by x? So if you divide, you need to multiply also, yes or no? So this question becomes what? Limit x tends to 0, x minus sin x divided by x square into x is x cube, and automatically sin x by x. Limit x tends to 0, sin x by x is 1. So instead of this, I can easily write 1. So see the difference between this question and this. So which one is easy to do? Obviously this one. Why? Because in the denominator there is no product rule at all. So this is how you remove product rule, by using the property which I have given it to you. Now you can easily solve this by using L'Hospital's theorem. Help me put x tends to 0. So 0 cube is 0. So this becomes 0 by 0 form. If it's 0 by 0 form, what do I write? Applying L'Hospital's theorem. So you get limit x tends to 0. Differentiate please. Differentiation of x is 1 minus differentiation of sine x is cos x divided by x cube is 3x square. Done. Again repeat the same process. X is 0, so 0 square is 0, so 3 zeros are 0. If the denominator is 0, numerator also becomes 0. So this is called 0 by 0 form again. So again applying L'Hospital's theorem, what do I get? Limit x tends to 0. Differentiation of 1 is 0 minus, I'll just ignore this. Cos x is minus sin x. So minus into minus plus sin x divided by 2 comes in front. So 3 2s are 6x. You can even use this property, sin x by x is 1, if you know the property. Is that clear? Or if you don't know the property, use L'Hospital one more time. So what I mean to say is, I'll just do it out here. 1 by 6 is a constant. Yes, 6 is a constant, so comes out. Since there's nothing in the numerator, so I wrote 1. So you're left with limit x tends to 0. So you got sin x by x. And this is automatically 1. So your answer is 1 by 6. This is one way of doing it. Or limit x tends to 0 sin x by 6x. Put again the same process, 6 zeros are 0, so again this becomes 0 by 0 form. So applying L'Hospital's theorem one more time, so you get limit x tends to 0, differentiation of sin x is cos x, 6 into differentiation of x is 1. So 6 ones are 6. So will you get 0 again in the denominator? Not possible at all, because this is a constant 6, isn't it? So how do I need to end this solution? By removing the limit. And how do you remove the limit? Put the value of x. So what do you get? Cos 0 divided by 6. Cos 0 is 1. So the answer is same. So whichever method suits you, you apply that. Is that clear? But it's better you know the property. You know the property. And what's the property? Limit x tends to 0, sin x by x is 1. So again, since this is an IAC question, so a bit difficult one, so let me revise it one more time. As I've already told you, you could easily differentiate, you could easily apply L'Hospital's theorem out here, but you can try also. You will see that the solution becomes a bit difficult. Why will the solution become difficult? Because there is product rule to be used. We have to use product rule. So what I thought of was, if I can somehow remove the sin x, then I no longer have to use product rule, isn't it? So what did I do? Instead of sin x, there's a property which is sin x by x equal to 1. So sin x, I needed x in the denominator, so I divided by x and I multiplied by x. So automatically the one which I've circled is directly 1, because that this limit x tends to 0 sin x by x is 1. So you are left with x square into x. So the question becomes this. Now it is easy to simplify. So you can just pause the video for a second and then you can copy it. Is that clear? Okay. Now, this was IAC 2015. So I hope you are understanding how to solve questions on L'Hospital's theorem. All the questions are to be done in a similar fashion. Okay. So let me do one. IAC 2016. IAC 2016. The question is a limit x tends to 0, 1 by x square minus cot x by x. This is the question. Now the first thing that is different out here is, in order to use L'Hospital theorem, it must be a fraction, numerator divided by denominator. But out here there's a minus sign in between, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the LCM. But before that, look at cot. I know only two properties. One is limit x tends to 0, sin x by x is 1, and the other one is limit x tends to 0, tan x by x is 1. So I'll try to keep all my trigonometric ratios in this, either sine or tan. So can I write this as limit x tends to 0, 1 by x square minus reciprocal of cot. Cot comes down and becomes tan x. Yes or no? So limit x tends to 0. What is the LCM? The LCM is what? X square tan x. X square is already there, so what do I get? tan x minus x tan x is already there, so what do I get? X. I hope everyone understood till here. Now look at this particular question and tell me, why is this question looking difficult? Because of this tan x, because there's a multiplication sign, so I have to use product rule. So let me remove this tan x. How did I teach you to remove tan x? By using the property. It's tan x minus x divided by x square into tan x. I need x in the denominator, so if I divide I need to multiply. So automatically this tan x by x, limit x tends to 0, tan x by x is 1. So this becomes 1. So the question will now look like limit x tends to 0, tan x minus x divided by x cube. Now look at the question, the original question and the question which we have converted or simplified into. So obviously this is looks much easier. So help me. Put x equal to 0. So this becomes what? 0, 0 by 0 form. So applying L'Hospital's theorem, what do I get? Limit x tends to 0. Differentiation of tan x is sec square x minus differentiation of x is 1 divided by x 3x square. What's the differentiation of x cube? It is 3x square. You can apply the same process again and again, but I'll teach you a simple technique out here. 3 is a constant, so 1 by 3 comes out. Limit x tends to 0, sec square x minus 1 is nothing but tan square x, because in class 10 you learned sec square theta minus tan square theta equal to 1, so sec square theta minus 1 is tan square theta. So now look at this, limit x tends to 0. Can I write tan square x divided by x square as tan x by x whole square, because limit to the power anything is limit, so it does not matter. It's like 1 to the power 100 is 1, so you can just write 1 as 1 or 1 to the power 100. It's the same thing. Is that clear? So as you can see, the reason why I did this was I knew that tan x by x is 1. Ultimately what we are trying to do is we are trying to remove 0 from the denominator, so you either use L'Hospital theorem or the property which I have already given, so you can mix it up. So I have just mixing up the property will make the solution simple. Otherwise if you did not know this property, then you had to use 2 more steps to come to the final answer. Is that clear? So if you did not know this, then how would you do it? Simple. 0, so 0 square is 0, 3 zeros are 0. So if the denominator is 0, numerator is bound to be 0, so differentiate. Sec square x, 2 comes in front, 2 sec x into sec x tan x, this is 0, so this comes in front, 6x. So tan x in x is 1, so you are left with sec square x divided by 6. So put the value and you will get the answer. 2, you are going to get 2 sec square x divided by 6. So 1 by 3 as it is. So what is limit x tends to 0 tan x by x? It is 1. So 1 square. So what is your final answer? 1 by 3. So this is how you solve a question on L'Hospital's theorem. So I hope the concept is clear. So with this concept, I want you all to try few questions so that you will be confident to solve questions on L'Hospital's theorem. So I want you all to, I'll just give you a few questions, so you can just try these at home. Important ones, not that easy ones, but with the concept which with these videos you will be able to solve. I want you to try question number 5, subdivision 2. The question is limit x tends to 0, e to the power x plus e to the power minus x minus 2 cos x divided by x dot sin x. So let us discuss how to solve this question. So the first thing, the normal mode is you are going to put the value of x 0. So 0 into sin 0 is 0. That means the denominator is 0. So if the denominator is 0, numerator also is bound to be 0. So that's 0 by 0 form. So we apply L'Hospital's theorem. But there's a slight problem. What is the problem? There's a multiplication, so we are going to use product rule. So if you don't want to use product rule and make the solution long, how did I teach you? I taught you to remove sin x from the denominator. And how do you remove sin x from the denominator? I need x in the denominator. So if I divide, I need to multiply also. So this automatically becomes 1. So the question becomes limit x tends to 0, e to the power x plus e to the power minus x minus 2 cos x divided by x square. That you can use L'Hospital's theorem and solve it. Next question which I want you all to try is, I want you all to try question number 7. This is also an IEC question. Limit x tends to 0, sin x minus x plus 1 by 6 x cube divided by x cube. So again the same thing, out here there is no denominator, so you can just continue solving and get the answer. So this is, and I want you to try one more, the last question, question number 6. Limit x tends to 0, e to the power x minus e to the power sin x divided by x minus sin x. So these are the 3 questions which I want you all to try for homework. I hope you have understood today's topic, that was L'Hospital's theorem. Thank you so much.
कक्षा 12 का विद्यार्थीहरूलाई नेपाली विषयको पाठ्यक्रम पढाउने क्रममा केही अन्तरालपछि फेरि हामी अघि आएका छौँ। केही दिन हामीले ब्रेक गऱ्यौँ, केही दिनको विश्रामपछि फेरि नेपाली विषयको केही रहल पाठ्यक्रम बुझाउनको निम्ति, पढाउनको निम्ति म अघि आएको छु। र विशेष गरी सायदै हाम्रो विद्यार्थीहरूले विभिन्न क्षेत्रमा छरिएर बसेका विद्यार्थीहरू यो लकडाउनको समयमा लामो यो अन्तराल, यस घडी हामी घरमा बसिरहेका छौँ अनि घरमै बसेर भए पनि हाम्रो शिक्षालाई हामीले निरन्तरता दिइरहेका छौँ, पढिरहेका छौँ, अध्ययन गरिरहेका छौँ। विद्यार्थीहरूले पनि घर बसेरै अनलाइन टेस्टहरू बसिरहेको, पढिरहेको, खोजी गरिरहेको, अध्ययनमा निरन्तरता दिइरहेको हामीले हेरिरहेका छौँ, पढिरहेका छौँ र टेस्टको रिपोर्टहरू पनि हामी हेरिरहेका छौँ। र विद्यार्थी नानीहरूलाई यही क्रमलाई जारी राख्ने र अध्ययनलाई जारी राख्ने, किनभने 2021 को फेरि परीक्षा नजिक आइरहेको छ। समयले कसैलाई पनि पर्खँदैन। समय जसरी पानी बग्दो छ त्यसरी नै समय पनि बित्दो छ, समय बितेर गइरहेको छ र हामी परीक्षाको तयारी हामीले गर्नै पर्ने हुन्छ। र बोर्ड इक्जामको परीक्षाफल पनि हालै प्रकाशित भइसकेको छ। आइएससी को, आइसिएससी को रिजल्ट आइसकेको छ। सबै बोर्डहरूको रिजल्ट आइसकेको छ र विद्यार्थीहरूले प्राय अहिलेको रिजल्टलाई हेर्ने हो भनेदेखि नेपाली विषयमा प्राय विद्यार्थीहरूले नै राम्रो गरेको हामीले देखिरहेका छौँ। 2-4 विद्यार्थीहरू छोडेर प्राय समग्रमा हेर्ने हो भने आइएससीमा प्राय सबै विद्यार्थीहरूले राम्रो गरेको नेपाली विषयमा हामीले देख्न पाएका छौँ र विद्यार्थीहरूलाई शुभकामना पनि छ, बधाई पनि छ। अघिल्लो परीक्षा दिइसकेका विद्यार्थीहरूलाई अनि 2021 को परीक्षाको तयारी गरिरहेका विद्यार्थीहरूलाई पनि धेरै धेरै शुभेच्छा, शुभकामना व्यक्त गर्दै परीक्षाको निम्ति तयारी गरिरहने, अध्ययनलाई जारी राख्ने म आह्वान गर्न चाहन्छु। र डाक्टर इन्द्रबहादुर राईको कथा जयमाया आफू मात्र लिखापानी आइपुगी शीर्षक कथा मैले बुझाएको थिएँ। अलिकति 2-4 पृष्ठ बुझाइसकेपछि यो हामीले विश्राम लियौँ र फेरि रहल भाग म आज विद्यार्थीहरूलाई पढाउन लागिरहेको छु। यसभन्दा अगाडि म विद्यार्थीहरूलाई, समग्र विद्यार्थीहरूलाई, कालिम्पोङका मात्र होइन समग्र आइएससी परीक्षाको तयारी गरिरहेका नेपाली विषयका सम्पूर्ण विद्यार्थीहरूलाई एउटा जरुरी सूचना म दिन चाहन्छु। त्यो के भनेदेखि योपालि कोभिड-19 ले गर्दाखेरि विद्यार्थीहरूलाई कतिपय पढाइमा असुविधा भएको कुरालाई मध्यनजर राखेर काउन्सिलले सिलेबसमा केही छुट दिएको छ अथवा रिड्युस्ड गरेको छ, अलिकति सिलेबस घटाएको छ। दुईटा कथा अनि 2टा कविता घटाइएको छ। यो बारेमा म विद्यार्थीलाई जानकारी दिन चाहन्छु। हुन त सम्पूर्ण स्कुललाई यो सूचना गइसकेको छ अनि काउन्सिलको वेबसाइटमा पनि हालिसकेको छ यो सूचना। विद्यार्थीहरूले स्कुल मार्फत, आफ्नो विद्यालय मार्फत यो सूचना सायदै पाइसकेका छन् होला र नपाएका विद्यार्थीहरू यदि कोही छन् भनेदेखि विद्यार्थीहरूले यो अध्ययन गर्ने क्रममा याद राख्ने म आग्रह गर्दछु। यो आइएससी कविता कुञ्जबाट 2टा कविता लाई यो 2021 को परीक्षाको निम्ति मात्र सब सधैँभरिको लागि होइन, 2021 को परीक्षा दिने विद्यार्थीहरूको निम्ति 2वटा कविता चाहिँ घटाइएको छ यहाँबाट। जम्मा हामीले 10वटा पढ्नुपर्ने थियो, 10वटा मध्येबाट 8वटा मात्र पढ्नुपर्ने हुन्छ। 2टा चाहिँ विद्यार्थीहरूलाई यो लकडाउनको समयमा बेसी भयो, पढ्न पाएको छैनन् भनेर अलिकति छुट दिएको छ। यो चाहिँ काउन्सिलको वेबसाइटमा विद्यार्थीहरूले हेर्न सक्नेछन्। यो घटाइएको छ, जसमा केही फुटकर कविता र जीवन चङ्गा कविता, यो 2टा कविता चाहिँ विद्यार्थीहरूले 2021 को परीक्षाको निम्ति चाहिँ पढ्नु पर्दैन। 2021 को परीक्षाको निम्ति पढ्नु पर्दैन। केही फुटकर कविता र जीवन चङ्गा यो 2टा कविता घटाइएको छ। तर उँधोको जति कविताहरू छ, जम्मा 8वटा कविता पढ्नै पर्ने हुन्छ, पढ्नु नै पर्ने हुन्छ। निम्तो, गाइने, सुख दुःख, नचिनिने भएछौ, आकाशका तारा के तारा, शहीदहरूको सम्झनामा, असारको 15 र मेला, यो 8वटा कविता चाहिँ सिलेबसमा राखिएको छ। र 2टा चाहिँ सिलेबसबाट यो 2021 को निम्ति मात्र हटाइएको छ। र जुनेली रेखा पढ्नै पर्ने हुन्छ, ग्रामरबाट गर्नुपर्ने पोर्सन गर्नै पर्ने हुन्छ। विद्यार्थीहरूले यो 2टा कविता, केही फुटकर कविता भानुभक्त आचार्यको अनि जीवन चङ्गा लेखनाथ पौडेलको, यो चाहिँ 2021 को निम्ति चाहिँ नपढ्दा हुन्छ है। र विद्यार्थीहरूलाई म सूचना दिन चाहन्छु। यसको साथसाथै आइएससी यो गद्य कुञ्जबाट पनि 2टा कथा हटाइएको छ, अथवा यो पालिको सिलेबस हटाउनु भन्नुको अर्थ 2021 को परीक्षाको निम्ति चाहिँ निकालिएको छ, बाँकी अरू पढ्नै पर्ने हुन्छ। र विशेष गरेर विद्यार्थीहरूले पढ्नु नपर्ने 2टा कथा चाहिँ बिहा विश्वेश्वर प्रसाद कोइरालाको अनि रमेश विकलको लाहुरी भैँसी, यो कथा चाहिँ पढ्नु पर्दैन। पाठ्यक्रममा हालिएको छ तर पढ्नु पर्दैन 2021 को निम्ति। 8वटालाई मात्रै, 8वटा भित्रबाट मात्र प्रश्न आउँछ। परालको आगो, बितेका कुरा, ज्यानमारा, तेस्रो घर, टोटलाको फुल, जयमाया आफू मात्र लिखापानी आइपुगी, नेपाली साहित्यमा उखानको स्थान अनि एउटा आइतबार यसरी बित्यो। यो 8वटा चाहिँ विद्यार्थीहरूले पढ्नुपर्ने हुन्छ। एउटा आइतबार यसरी बित्यो, नेपाली साहित्यमा उखानको स्थान, जयमाया आफू मात्र लिखापानी आइपुगी जो म पढाउँदैछु, टोटलाको फुल, तेस्रो घर, ज्यानमारा, बितेका कुरा र परालको आगो। र 2टा कथा बिहा र लाहुरी भैँसी चाहिँ विद्यार्थीहरूले यो पालिको निम्ति चाहिँ पढ्नु परेन। र जुनेली रेखा सानो किताब छ, पुरै पढ्नुपर्छ। अनि अरू जुन ग्रामरबाट, नेपाली व्याकरणबाट पढ्नुपर्ने छ, त्यो विद्यार्थीहरूले गर्नै पर्ने हुन्छ। र यसको तयारी विद्यार्थीहरूले राम्रोसँग गरिदिने पनि म आग्रह गर्न चाहन्छु। यो चाहिँ काउन्सिलले आफ्नो वेबसाइटमा सूचना जारी गरिसकेको छ। यो हाम्रो एउटा कमिटीले यसको रिपोर्ट दिइसकेपछि यसको यो काउन्सिलले वेबसाइट मार्फत यो सूचना प्रकाशित गरिसकेको छ। विद्यार्थीहरूले काउन्सिलको वेबसाइटमा यो हेर्न सक्नेछन्। नेपाली विषय आइएससी को नेपाली गद्य कुञ्जबाट हामी पढ्दैछौँ। इन्द्रबहादुर राई, डाक्टर इन्द्रबहादुर राई आइएमएली नेपाली साहित्यका एक महान हस्ती। इन्द्रबहादुर राई माथि हामीले अस्ति परिचय पढिसकेका छौँ। अनि इन्द्रबहादुर राई आयामिक साहित्यकारको रूपमा चिन्छौँ। र इन्द्रबहादुर राईको यो कथा खुबै मिठो, खुबै मार्मिक, खुबै मर्मस्पर्शी कथा जयमाया आफू मात्र लिखापानी आइपुगी शीर्षक कथा हामीले पढ्न सुरु गरिसकेका छौँ। र यो कथा अस्ति नै मैले विद्यार्थीहरूलाई अघिल्लो चरणमा अथवा अघिल्लो क्लासमा मैले भनिसकेको छु कि बर्माबाट खेदिएका नेपालीहरूको करुण कथा हो। बर्माबाट खेदिएका नेपालीहरू जब बर्मामा जुन प्रकारको युद्धको परिवेश त्यहाँ सृजना हुन्छ, त्यसताक बर्मेलीहरू र नेपालीहरू जो नङ र मासु जस्तो मिलेर बसेका थिए, नङ र मासु जस्तो मिलेर बसेका नेपालीहरू त्यहाँबाट खेदिनु परेको है, नेपालीहरू खेदिनु परेको, बर्मिसहरूको अतिक्रमण सुरु भएपछि त्यहाँबाट बर्मेलीहरूले अविश्वास गरेर नेपालीहरूलाई त्यस पछाडि त्यहाँबाट लखेट्न थालेपछि आफ्नो घर परिवार जग्गा जमिन जम्मै कुरा त्यागेर त्यहाँबाट भागेर अन्यत्र आउनु परेको अथवा आसामका लिखापानीहरूतिर, भारतका विभिन्न प्रान्तहरूतिर भागेर आएका ती नेपालीहरूको कथा, दुःखद कथालाई इन्द्रबहादुर राईले यो जयमाया आफू मात्र लेखापानी आइपुगी शीर्षक कथामा वर्णन गरेका छन्। र जयमायाहरू, सुबेदारहरू त्यहाँबाट हिँडिसकेका छन्। मैले अगाडि नै बताइसकेको छु, त्यहाँबाट परिस्थितिवश सबै हिँड्दैछन्, त्यहाँबाट निस्किँदैछन्, भाग्नुपर्ने स्थिति भयो। त्यहाँ आफ्नो मुलुकमा, आफ्नो ठाउँमा, आफ्नो जग्गामा बस्न नपाएर आफूले रोपेका ती सागसब्जीहरू, अन्न बालीहरू उठाउन नपाइकन ती गाईबस्तुहरू पनि सबै छोडिराखेर, बनाएका ती सुन्दर घरहरू पनि सबै छोडिराखेर, उत्पादित ती जम्मै चिजहरू छोडिराखेर त्यसरी घर छोडेर भाग्नु परेका नेपालीहरूको करुण कथालाई यो जयमाया आफू मात्र लेखापानी आइपुगी शीर्षक कथामा वर्णन गरिएको छ। र यो कथाको माध्यमबाट हाम्रो सामाजिक स्थिति, हाम्रो राजनीतिक स्थिति, हाम्रो आर्थिक स्थिति र हाम्रो अवस्था बोध गराउने काम इन्द्रबहादुर राईले गरेका छन्। इन्द्रबहादुर राईले हाम्रो स्थितिलाई, हाम्रो जातिको अवस्थालाई पनि यो कथामा देखाउने चेष्टा गरेका छन्। र त्यहाँबाट सबैजना भाग्दैछन्, निस्किँदैछन्, गोरु गाडीहरूमा चढेर पैदल हिँड्नेहरू पैदल हिँडिरहेका छन्, गोरु गाडी जाने सक्ने ठाउँमा गोरु गाडी गइरहेको छ, हिँडिरहेका छन्, भागिरहेका छन्। त्यो भागिरहने क्रममा, हिँडिरहने क्रममा सुबेदार शिवजित अनि उनको परिवार जयमाया पनि त्यहाँ मिसिएका छन्, हिँड्दैछन्, यात्रा गरिरहेका छन्। त्यही कथा हामीले पढिरहेका छौँ र त्यो बाटोमा उनीहरूको बिचमा भइरहेको कुराकानी, संवाद अनि यात्रामा भोग्नु परेको कठिनता, यात्रामा भोग्नु परेको दुःखको वर्णन अघिल्लो अध्यायमा मैले वर्णन गरेको थिएँ। यहाँ हामी आइपुगेका छौँ, बिचमा कुराकानी हुँदैछ, जयमायासँग बातचित हुँदैछ। मेरो नाम जयबहादुर, एउटा केटा, बाटोमा भेट हुन्छ, जयबहादुर भन्ने। अनि तिम्रो नाम के हो भन्दा मेरो नाम जयमाया, तिम्रो नाम के? जयबहादुर। एउटा भाइ, एउटा केटा, जयबहादुर उसले भन्यो। त्यस दिन पनि 10 माइल जति हिँडेर तिनीहरू बास बसे। अब पहिला त धेरै हिँडे, पहिला त यात्राको क्रममा सुरुमा त अलिकति शरीरमा शक्ति पनि थियो, तागत पनि थियो, अनि उनीहरू धेरै हिँडे, धेरै किलोमिटर। तर अब दिनदिनै जिउ गल्न थाल्यो, शरीर पनि थकित भयो, गलित भइसकेको छ। त्यो कारण बेसी हिँड्न सक्ने अवस्था छैन। 10 माइल जति हिँडेर त्यो दिन पनि उनीहरू बास बसे। गोरु थाकेर गर्जमानको गाडी पछि परिसकेको थियो, गोरु थाकिसकेको थियो, गोरुले भारी पनि बोकेको छ, मान्छे पनि गोरु गाडीमाथि चढेका छन्, भारी प्रशस्तै लादिएको छ, गोरु हिँड्न नसक्ने, प्रतिदिनको हिँडाइमा त्यो पशु पनि थाक्छ, गोरु पनि थाकेको छ, हिँड्न नसक्ने भएर गर्जमानको गाडी पछाडि परिसकेको छ। अब 5 दिन यत्तिकै हिँडिदियो हाम्रो गोरुहरूले भने हामी 116 माइलको खुट्टीमा पुगिहाल्छौँ। अब 5 दिन जति, अझै 5 दिन जति यसरी नै गोरुले हिँडिदियो भनेदेखि हामी 116 माइलको खुट्टीमा पुग्छौँ। त्यस पछाडि गोरु गाडी हिँड्न सक्ने बाटो छैन। 116 माइलको खुट्टी पुगेपछि त्यसपछि उनीहरू फेरि पैदल चोर बाटो, एउटा सानो गोरेटो बाट यात्रा गर्नुपर्ने अवस्था हुन्छ। सुबेदारले बताए त्यहाँदेखि मूल सडक छोडिएर यता पूर्व सुम्प्रियाङतिर जानुपर्छ। अनि त ज्यादाको 15 दिनमा लेदो आसाम निस्केपछि त मोटर रेल जति पनि पाइन्छ। अब सुबेदारले भन्दैछन् अब त्यस पछाडि हामी अब 5 दिनमा 116 माइलको खुट्टीमा पुग्छौँ। त्यस पछाडि त 15 दिनसम्म हामी हिँड्यौँ भने अझै कमसे कम 20 दिनको यात्रा छ, 15 दिन जति हिँड्यौँ भनेदेखि त त्यसपछि हामीले रेल मोटरहरू पाउँछौँ, हामी कहाँ पुग्छौँ? आसाम, लेदो आसाममा निस्कन्छौँ। सुबेदारले आज त एउटा भाले काट्छु है। अब सुबेदारले भने यो लिएर हिँडेको कति दिन बोकेर हिँड्नु, आज त म अब अलिकति यात्रा पनि हामी अगाडि बढाउँदैछौँ, आज म एउटा भाले काट्छु है भनेर सुबेदारले हौसला दिए। राति घनघोर वृष्टि भयो। त्यही रात प्रशस्तै ठुलो पानी पर्यो, घनघोर भनेको एकदमै ठुलो पानी पर्यो। सेउलाको छाप्रोबाट 1000 थोपा पानी चुहन थाल्यो। सुबेदारले गाडीका पाल खोलेर भिज्दै छाप्रोमाथि फ्याँके। सेउलाको छाप्रोबाट 1000औं थोपा पानी चुह्यो, पुरा पानी चुह्यो। कि त्यहाँनिर बाटोमा तिनीहरूको अस्थायी डेरा मात्र थियो, घर थिएन, घर छोडेर आएका थिए। बाटोमा त्यो तिरपालहरू टाँगेर है, पालहरू टाँगेर, सेउलाहरू त्यो साना खम्बाहरू काटेर, बाँसहरू बोकेर, बाँसका खुट्टीहरू गाडेर लगाइएको त्यो पाल अथवा माथि त्यो रुखका सेउलाहरू ओढाइएको हुन्थ्यो। त्यस्तामा बस्नु पर्थ्यो, बाध्यता त्यस्तो थियो। रात काट्नको निम्ति फेरि भोलिपल्ट कहाँ गयो, त्यसरी नै एउटा डेरा बनाएर बस्यो। फेरि पर्सिपल्ट हिँडेर गयो, फेरि रात कहाँ पर्छ त्यहाँ फेरि त्यसरी नै बस्यो। त्यसरी यात्रा हुन्थ्यो। त्यो अस्थायी डेरा त्यो स्याउलाहरू काटेर हालिएको त्यो स्याउलाबाट पानी चुहेर प्रशस्तै पानी चुहेर एकदमै के भएको थियो पानी चुहेर भित्र प्रशस्तै पानी नै पानी भएको थियो। अनि गाडीको पाल खोलेर भिज्दै छाप्रोमाथि फ्याँके। अब केही सिप लागेन अनि त्यो गाडीको तिरपाल निकालेर पाल खोलेर उनले त्यो छाप्रोमाथि हाले, अलिकति भए पनि पानी थेक्छ भनेर। रातभरि आगो जलिरह्यो। त्यस रात कोही सुत्न सकेन, पानी परेको बेला रातभरि कोही पनि सुत्न सकेनन्। रातभरि आगो तापेर रात काटे। भोलिपल्ट बाटो हिलै भएछ, गोरुले तान्नै सकेन। भोलिपल्ट बाटो हिलै भयो। त्यो घामले धुलो भएको, मान्छेको यात्राले धुलो भएको बाटो, ठुलो वृष्टि हुँदा के भयो, त्यो बाटो हिलै भयो अनि गोरुले पनि तान्न सकेन। आकाश अझै मेघले परिपूर्ण थियो। आकाशभरि बादल लागिरहेको थियो, परिपूर्ण थियो। रुगा मचिएको थियो। भिजेर धेरै बिमारी भयो। सबैलाई सर्दी फैलिन थाल्यो। धेरैजना भिजे, कोही पनि राम्रोसँग सुत्न सकेनन्। त्यो अस्थायी डेरामा यति बिजोग भयो मान्छेहरूको, रातभरि भिज्दै आगो तापेर काट्नु पर्यो रात। यो कारणले गर्दा धेरैजनालाई रुगा लाग्यो, सर्दी लाग्यो अनि धेरैजना बिमारी भए। बाटैमा गाडी भत्केका, चिजबिजहरू मिल्काइएका भेटिँदै गए। त्यस दिन 4 माइल पनि अघि बढ्न सकिएन। बाटैमा अब गोरुले तान्नै नसक्ने भयो, गोरु हिँड्नै नसक्ने भयो। त्यो हिलो बाटो भएको कारणले गर्दा र बाटै मान्छेहरूले सामानहरू फ्याँकिरहेको, मिल्काइरहेको, अब लान सक्ने अवस्था छैन। बोकेर लान सक्ने बोकेर लाने, त गोरुले तान्दै गरेको, गोरुले तान्न छोडेपछि अब बाटै सामानहरू फ्याँक्नु पर्ने स्थिति भयो। र आज 4 किलोमिटर जतिको यात्रा पनि तिनीहरूले गर्न धेरै गाह्रो पर्यो। 4 माइल पनि अघि बढ्न सकिएन। भोलिपल्ट गोरुलाई बिसाउन दिने सुबेदारको विचार थियो। रातिदेखि आफ्नो पुरानो ज्वरो पनि बल्झ्यो। अब के भयो, भोलिपल्ट गोरुलाई बिसाउन दिनुपर्छ। एक दिन अलिकति विश्राम पायो गोरुले भनेदेखि त्यसपछि पर्सिपल्टदेखि हिँड्न सक्छ भन्ने उनलाई लागेको थियो। तर रातिदेखि उनलाई नै ज्वरो आउन थाल्यो। दबाई थिएन। भात नखाएरै ज्वरोलाई जित्ने विचार बुढाले गरे। बाटोमा कहाँबाट दबाई पाउने, दबाई औषधिको कुनै सुविधा थिएन। बाटोमा दबाई थिएन र भात नखाएरै एक दिनको ज्वरो चाहिँ म काट्छु अथवा ज्वरो जाती पार्छु भन्ने सोचे, जित्ने विचार गरेर उनले बसे। बिहान हिँड्न सक्ने गाडीहरू निकैवटा थिए। हर्कमान बुढा आफ्नै कटेरोमा राति मरेछ। कतिवटा गाडीहरू हिँड्न सक्ने अथवा गोरुहरू अलिक सबल थियो, हिँड्न सक्ने थियो। कतिवटा हिँड्नै नसक्ने अवस्थामा थियो। त आफ्नो कटेरोमा जहाँ सुतेको थियो त्यो यात्रा गरिरहेका एकजना व्यक्ति हर्कमान बुढाको राति कटेरामै निधन भएछ। र जानेहरू त गइहाले, जो हिँड्न सक्ने थिए, जसको गाडी जान सक्ने थियो, गोरुहरू हिँड्न सक्ने थिए, हिँड्नेहरू हिँडिहाले। बस्नेहरूले बुढालाई माटो दिने बन्दोबस्त गरे भन्नुको अर्थ हो उनलाई दफनाउने अथवा उनलाई खाडल खनेर माटो खनेर पुर्ने काम गरे। बस्नेहरूले माटो दिने बन्दोबस्त गरे। दिउँसोतिर जयबहादुरले 2 दाना एस्प्रो लिएर आएछ। खाएर शिवजित सुतिरहे। दिउँसोतिर जयबहादुरले, त्यो केटाले दबाई ल्याइदिएछ, एस्प्रो, ज्वरोको दबाई, अनि खाएर तिनी सुतिरहे। भोलिपल्ट फेरि घाम लाग्यो। गाडीमाथि ओढ्नेहरू पनि फैलाएर तिनीहरूले गोरु हिँडाए। भोलिपल्ट फेरि घाम लाग्यो। गाडीमाथि ओढ्नेहरू पनि फिजाइराखेर त्यस पछाडि तिनीहरूले गोरु के गरे, हिँडाए, अघि बढाए। जति अघि गए बिमारी भएर र बिमारी रुँगेर बस्नेहरूको गन्ती उति नै बढ्दै गयो। जति उनीहरू अगाडि बढ्दै गए बिमारी भएर बस्नेहरू, बिमारी रुँगेर बस्नेहरू, कोही हिँड्नै नसकेर शिथिल भएर बस्नेहरूलाई धेरै सङ्ख्यामा भेटिन थाल्यो। यसरी बाटोमा बिजोग परेर बिमारी भएर बस्नेहरूको सङ्ख्या धेरै बढ्दै गयो। अर्को दिन आलो माटोका 4 थुप्रा भेटिए। हिजो मात्र हर्कमान बुढालाई दफनाएर आएको, तर अर्को दिन के भयो, आलो माटोको 4 थुप्रो भेटियो भनेको 4 जना सायद बाटोमै मरेर तिनीहरूलाई पुर्ने काम गरिएको थियो। यस्तो दुःखलाग्दो दृश्यहरू बाटोबाटै देखियो। आलो माटो भनेको भर्खर खनिएको माटोको 4 वटा थुप्राहरू देखिए। पैदल भाग्नेहरू भकाभक मरिरहेका थिए। जो गोरु गाडीको सुविधा थिएन, जो हिँडिरहेका थिए, पैदल हिँडिरहेका थिए, त्यस्ता मान्छेहरू बाटै मरिरहेका थिए। त्यसपछि त सुबेदारलाई सोच विचारले छोड्दै लग्यो, सबै कुरा साधारण लाग्दै गयो। अहिलेसम्म उनलाई लागेको थियो हामी निर्धारित समयमा पुग्नेछौँ, आसामको लेदो पुग्नेछौँ, हाम्रो यात्रा सहजै हुनेछ, हिँडेर भए पनि हामी त्यो ठाउँमा पुग्नेछौँ, त्यो लक्ष्यमा पुग्नेछौँ भन्ने लागेको थियो। अनि जीवन बाँच्नुको एउटा कुनै अर्थ थियो उनीसँग, हामी बाँच्नेछौँ, हामी राम्रैसँग पुग्नेछौँ, हामी फेरि नयाँ जीवन सुरु गर्नेछौँ त्यहाँ पुगेर भन्ने एउटा सोच राखेर सुबेदार निस्केका थिए। तर आज जुन प्रकारले त्यो आलो माटोहरू उनले देख्न थाले, बाटोबाटै साथीहरू मरिरहेको, बाटोबाटै ती यात्रीहरू मरिरहेको, ती भागेर आउनेहरू बाटोबाटै मरिरहेको अनि तिनीहरूलाई पुर्याएका ती आलो माटोको थुप्रोहरू देख्न थालेपछि सुबेदारलाई यो जीवन साधारण लाग्न थाल्यो। अनि उनले सोच्न थाले अब के हुन्छ, भोलि के हुन्छ, भोलि फेरि कसको लास भेटिने हो अथवा कसलाई दफनाइरहेको अवस्थामा भेटिने हो भनेर त्यो चिन्ता मनमा जाग्न थाल्यो। अनि जीवन को केही भरोसा छैन रहेछ, अब हामी पुग्छौँ कि पुग्दैनौँ भन्ने एउटा शङ्का उनको मनभित्र सृजना हुन थाल्यो अथवा मनभित्र त्यो विचार आउन थाल्यो। 116 माइल पुग्नलाई 7 दिन लागेन, 7 दिनभित्रमा 116 माइल पुगे। अघि हिँड्दाका गोरु गाडीवाला साथीहरू कोही अहिले थिएनन्। अघि हिँड्दाखेरि जो गोरु गाडी लिएर हिँडेका थिए, गोरु गाडी लिएर हिँड्ने ती साथीहरू अहिले कोही पनि भेटिएन बाटोमा। नयाँ साथीहरूको कहाँदेखि भेटेको केही थाहा रहेको छैन। नयाँ साथीहरू को कहाँबाट भेटेको, अगाडि हिँड्दाको सुरुमा यात्रा गर्दाका साथीहरू कोही पनि भेटिँदैन, कोही अगाडि गइसके, कोही पछि परिरहेका छन्, कोही बाटोमै छोडिएका छन्। अहिले नयाँ साथीहरू भेटिँदैछन्, ती पनि कहिले भेटेको भन्ने कुराको कुनै निश्चितता छैन। त्यस्तो अवस्थामा तिनीहरू यात्रा गरिरहेका छन्। 116 माइलको टारमा पुगेर सबैको होस खुल्यो। त्यति बेला पो याद आयो 116 माइलको टारमा पुगेपछि सबको होस खुल्यो। किन भन्दाखेरि त्यहाँबाट उता गोरु गाडी जान सक्ने बाटो थिएन। अब सडक छोडेर सुम्प्रियाङतिर उकालो जाने सानो गोरेटो मात्र रहेछ। त्यहाँ पुग्दा उभो जाने जुन बाटो थियो त्यो त सानो गोरेटो मात्र थियो, सडक थिएन, सुविधा थिएन। गाडी जान सक्दैन थियो, आफैले आफ्नो भारी बोक्नु पर्थ्यो। गाडी जान सक्ने स्थिति थिएन त्यहाँनिर, गाडी जान सक्दैन थियो, आफैले आफ्नो भारी बोकेर जानुपर्ने अवस्था थियो। गोर्खालीहरू अकमक्क परेर बसिरहेका थिए। गोर्खालीहरू अकमक्क परेर बसिरहेका थिए। अब कसरी जाने, कसरी यात्रा गर्ने, अगाडिको अघिल्लो यात्रा कसरी तय गर्ने, यो चिन्ता उनीहरूलाई थियो। धेरैजना उकालो बढिसकेका पनि थिए। खाली नभई नहुने चिजहरू बोकेर उकालो लाग्नु थियो। खाली नभई नहुने जे आवश्यक हुन्छ त्यो चिज बोकेर हिँड्नु थियो। तर जुन प्रकारको सरसामानहरू लिएर उनीहरूले हाँडा भाँडा विभिन्न प्रकारका चिजहरू जुन बोकेर आएका थिए, त धेरै सामानहरू बाटोबाट लान सक्ने अवस्था थिएन, बोकेर लान सक्ने अवस्था थिएन। जुन जरुरी छ, एकदमै लानुपर्छ, त्यो मात्र लान सक्ने अवस्था थियो। बाँकी सामानहरू बोकेर जान सक्ने अवस्था थिएन। खाली नभई नहुने खानेकुरा चिजहरू, खाने चिजहरू बोकेर उकालो लाग्नु थियो। सडकभरि र सडक मुनिको जङ्गलतिर बाकस, भाँडाकुँडा, कोटहरू, बोतलहरू त्यत्तिकै फ्याँकिरहेका थिए। कुखुरा बाख्रा मान्छेभन्दा ज्यादा थिए। जताततै फ्याँकिरहेको थियो। बाकसहरू, भाँडाकुँडाहरू, कोटहरू, बोतलहरू त्यत्तिकै फ्याँकिरहेको थियो। कुखुरा बाख्राहरू जो लिएर आएका थिए त्यो घिस्याएर लान सक्ने अवस्था थिएन। बाटबाटै मान्छेले कुखुरा बाख्राहरू फ्याँकिरहेका थिए। सामानहरू, भाँडाकुँडाहरू बाटबाटै फ्याँकेर आफ्नो शरीर मात्र लिएर र आवश्यक सामग्री खानेकुरा मात्र बोकेर तिनीहरू यात्रा गरिरहेका थिए। कुखुरा बाख्रा मान्छेभन्दा ज्यादा थिए। मान्छेभन्दा बेसी कुखुरा बाख्राहरू बाटोबाटै छोडिरहेको थियो। हावाजहाज आएर टाउकोमाथि घुमेर जान्थ्यो। अघिल्लै दिन आइपुगेर बसाइरहेका सुबेदार धनपत सुब्बाले सबैका लागि भात पकाए, कुखुरा काटे, चिम्फिङ मिसाएको ढुटो अचार पनि टक्राए। कसो कसो घर जस्तै लाग्यो। अघिल्लै दिन आएर बसेका सुबेदार धनपत सुब्बाले सबको निम्ति खानाको बन्दोबस्त गरे। कुखुरा काटे है, चिम्फिङ मिसाएको त्यो ढुटो अचार पनि, धुलो अचार पनि तयार पारे। कसो कसो घरमै खाएको जस्तो लाग्यो आज एक दिन। सुबेदारले ड्याङ ड्याङ गोली हानेको आवाजले भोलिपल्ट एका बिहानै सुबेदारनी र जयमाया बिउजे। सुबेदारले ड्याम्की ड्याम गोली ठोक्दै थिए। त्यो आवाज, गोलीको आवाज सुन्दाखेरि सुबेदारनी र जयमायाको निन्द्रा खुल्यो। 3 गुण्टा चिजबिज बाँधेपछि बाँकी सब चिजबिजमा सुबेदार गोली हानिरहेका थिए। ग्रामोफोनमा, कप प्लेटको बाकसमा, रिकर्डको थाकमा, देवल घडीमा, ट्रङ्कमा, गाग्रीमा विभिन्न प्रकारका सामानहरू जुन लिएर आएका थिए उनले घरबाट सामानहरू बोकेर लानुपर्छ। जहाँ बसिन्छ चाहिन्छ नि मान्छेलाई, मान्छे बसिसकेपछि विभिन्न चिजहरू चाहिन्छ मान्छेलाई। एउटा घर लिएर बसिसकेपछि मान्छेलाई चाहिने आधारभूत चिजहरू विभिन्न प्रकारका चिजहरूको मान्छेलाई खाँचो पर्छ। ती सामानहरू जो घरबाट बोक्न सक्ने सामानहरू लिएर आएका थिए त्यो पनि अब गोरु गाडीको सहाराले त्यहाँसम्म 116 माइलको खुट्टीसम्म ल्याइ पुर्याएका सामानहरू अब अगाडि बढाएर लान सक्ने स्थिति थिएन, किनभने गोरु गाडी त्यहीँ छोड्नुपर्ने स्थिति थियो। सानो गोरेटोबाट हिँडेर जानुपर्ने अवस्था थियो। त्यो कारणले गर्दा बाटैमा 3 गुण्टा बोक्न सक्ने सामान मात्र तयार गरेर अरू सबै सामानमा गोली ठोक्दै थिए सुबेदार। एकजनाले गोरुलाई गोली हान्यो, रातै काँध लिएर गोरु निकै परसम्म दगुरेर भाग्यो अनि घुप्लुक्क लड्यो। एउटा मान्छेले त के गरेछ, गोरुलाई गोली ठोकेछ अनि रातै त्यो रगत पक्षे भएर गोरु चाहिँ धेरै परसम्म दगुरेर गयो अनि घुप्लुक्कै लड्यो। सुबेदार रिसाए। किन मारिस यसलाई? सुबेदारले कड्केर कराए त्यसलाई। किन शत्रुलाई छोडी राखिदिनु? त्यसले सोध्यो। त्यसले भन्यो किन शत्रुलाई छोडिदिइराख्नु त? अन्त मारे मैले, शत्रुलाई छोडिराखिदिनु यहाँ भन्दाखेरि भनेर उनले भने। अब फेरि त्यसो गर, तँलाई म गोली लाउँछु। फेरि पनि तैँले त्यसो गरिस् भने तँलाई म गोली ठोक्छु भनेर सुबेदारले भने। सुबेदारको रिस थाहा पाएर त्यसले आँखा झार्यो। सुबेदार कडा थिए, रिसाए। सुबेदार रिसाएको थाहा पाउने बित्तिकै त्यसले आँखा झार्यो भनेको सुबेदारसँग तर्कै गरेन, कुरै गरेन, अगाडि बढाएन। सुबेदारको रिस थाहा पाएर त्यसले आँखा झार्यो। युवासुलाई त्यहीँदेखि फर्काइदिए। कतिले गोरुलाई पिठ्यौँमा भारी बाँधिदिएर हिँडाउने असफल प्रयत्न गर्दा गर्दै एकवटा कुम्लो बोकेर जयमाया, सुबेदार उकालो लागे। आमा छोरीले अझै एकवटा खसी तानेका थिए। कसैले एउटा त्यो गोरु गाडीबाट गोरुहरू खोलेर एकवटा गोरुलाई भारी लदाएर बोकाउने एउटा असफल प्रयास गर्दै थिए। त्यो गोरु गाडीमा जुन प्रकारले गोरुले सामान बोकेर हिँड्न सक्छ, तान्न सक्छ, त्यो दुईटा हुँदा, हल हुँदा, त एउटै हुँदाखेरि गोरुले त्यसरी सामान बोकेर हिँड्दैन, त्यो भागेर कतातिर जान्छ। त्यो एउटा असफल प्रयास मात्र थियो र सुबेदारनी अनि जयमायाले चाहिँ एकवटा गुण्टा बनाएर बोके अनि अझै पनि आमा छोरीले एकवटा खसी चाहिँ तानेका थिए। एक डाँडामा उक्लेर सुबेदारले स्वर्गतिर हेर्दा आकाशमा महत्त्व गर्भित निर्णय गर्नलाई अझै ठुल्ठुला काला बादलहरूको सभा बसेको थियो। एउटा डाँडा माथि उक्लेपछि सुबेदारले यसो स्वर्गतिर हेरे, उँभोतिर हेरे, फर्केर हेर्दा आकाशमा कुनै एउटा महत्त्वपूर्ण निर्णय लिनलाई, कुनै एउटा ठोस निर्णय लिनको निम्ति त्यहाँ सभा बसेको जस्तो उनलाई लाग्यो। ठुल्ठुला काला बादलहरूको सभा बसेको थियो। घनघोर पानी पर्ने एउटा सम्भावना उनले त्यहाँ देखे। एकदम अदम्य अँध्यारा बादलहरूको फाँकमा पनि अलिक कम कालै बादलहरू देखिन्थे। मेघको भय भुइँले पनि समातिसकेर धुलाहरू पनि चिसा र गह्रौँ भएका थिए। त्यो मेघ, आकाशमा जुन कालो मेघ थियो, त्यो मेघको प्रभावले त्यो भुइँमा भएको त्यो धुलोहरू पनि चिसो भइसकेको थियो। भन्नुको अर्थ एउटा कुनै आपतकालीन स्थिति त्यहाँ सृजना हुनेवाला थियो, अथवा ठुलो पानी पर्ने एउटा स्थिति थियो। त्यहाँ फेरि विकट एउटा स्थिति आइपर्ने खालको सङ्केत देखिँदै थियो। कागहरू अतालिएर उडिरहेका छन्। उज्याला बादलहरूको सानो उत्तर पाखामा एक ठाउँ पहेँलो रातो रङ बिच्केको देखिन्छ। शिरमाथि अँध्यारो कालो बादल एउटा ठुलो चक्ला हातखुट्टा गाडिएको मान्छेको आकारको बिस्तारै ढल्दै आयो अनि ढल्दा ढल्दै पुनर्जन्म पाए चाहिँ विराट स्वरूपको पंक्षी जस्तो भयो। एउटा आकारको एउटा अनुभूति उनले गरे। एउटा विराट स्वरूप, एउटा ठुलो स्वरूप लिएर एउटा कुनै चिज अघि आएको जस्तो, एउटा चराको रूपमा एउटा विराट चिज अघि आएको जस्तो उनलाई लाग्यो। जङ्गल फाँडेर बनेको ठाउँ ठाउँमा 8-10 घरको गाउँ भेटिन्छ, नत्र अताब्य पातलभित्र एकहोरो अघि हिँड्नु बाहेक केही छैन। जङ्गल फाँडेर 8-10 वटा घर बनाएर बसेका ती ती श्रमजीवीहरूको घर सानो सानो भेटिन्छ कोही ठाउँ, नत्र भनेदेखि त्यो घनघोर जङ्गलमा केही पनि भेटिँदैन। कोही ठाउँमा त यति साह्रो सुनसान, यति साह्रो चकमन्न कि चराचुरुङ्गीको आवाज पनि सुनिँदैन। त्यस्तो खालको यात्रा तिनीहरूले गरिरहेका थिए। 13औं दिन पनि यसरी नै हिँडिरहेपछि त यस्तो घोर जङ्गलमा पुग्यो जहाँ एउटा चरा कराएन, एउटा पशु पनि देखिन। 13औं दिन हिँड्दाखेरि त 13औं दिनको दिन त हिँड्दा 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 यस्तो ठाउँ पुग्यो जुन ठाउँमा त यस्तो डरलाग्दो घनघोर जङ्गल रहेछ जहाँ त एउटा चराको आवाज पनि सुनिएन, एउटा पशु पनि देखिएन। त्यति बेला सबैलाई पशु पक्षीलाई पनि मानिसको सहारा चाहिँदो रहेछ। मानिसकै आड पाइने टाढोसम्म मात्र तिनीहरू पनि बस्न सक्दा रहेछन् र अति नै विकट वनदेखि त तिनीहरू पनि डराउँदा रहेछन् भने जस्तो लाग्यो। अब उनले अनुभव गरे त्यति बेला सबैलाई पशु पक्षीहरू पनि जहाँ चाहिँ मान्छेको समीप हुन्छ अथवा मान्छे अलिक नजिकमा हुन्छ त्यहाँसम्म मात्र पशु पक्षी पनि बस्दो रहेछ। साह्रै मान्छेको समीपदेखि एकदमै टाढो, मान्छेदेखि एकदमै टाढो त पशु पक्षी पनि बस्न नसक्दो रहेछ भन्ने कुरा आज उनीहरूले अनुभव गरे। भन्नुको अर्थ त्यो घनघोर जङ्गलमा जहाँ पशु पनि भेटिएन, जहाँ चराचुरुङ्गीको आवाज पनि सुनिएन, त्यहाँबाट उनलाई थाहा भयो कि चराचुरुङ्गी र पशु प्राणीहरू पनि मानिसको सम्पर्क क्षेत्रभित्रै बस्दो रहेछ भन्ने कुरा उनलाई लाग्यो। विकट वनदेखि त तिनीहरू पनि डराउँदो रहेछ भन्ने उनलाई लाग्यो। खुट्टामा कैँडा परेर हिँड्नु भएको छैन, तर एक दिन बिसाउने हिम्मत कसैलाई छैन। कैँडा परेको छ, खुट्टा दुखिरहेको छ, हिँड्न सक्ने अवस्था छैन। त्यस्तो अवस्थामा यात्रा गरिरहेका छन्। तर एकै दिन बिसायो भने पनि हामी पछि पर्छौँ, अरू अगाडि जान्छन् भन्ने एउटा डर छ सबैलाई। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि बिसाउने हिम्मत नराखिकन यात्रा गरिरहेका छन्। सबै अघि घस्रने बलमै छन्, अलिकति भए पनि अगाडि बढ्ने दाउमै छन्। बिमारी आमाको माया लाग्छ। छोराले दिनभरि बोकेर 2 माइल पर पुर्याएपछि छोरा पनि बिमारी भयो। दिन बिराई पानी पर्दैछ। बिमारी आमा बोकेर लाँदैछ, अलिक पर पुगेपछि छोरा पनि बिमार हुन्छ है। त्यस्तो अवस्था छ। दिन बिराई पानी परिरहेको छ, लुगा भिजिरहेको छ, त्यही भिजेको लुगा लगाएर हिँडिरहेका छन्। भित्रभित्र त्यो पानीले गर्दा मानिसलाई ज्वरो आइरहेको छ, सर्दी लागिरहेको छ, हैजा फैलिरहेको छ। यस्तो अवस्थामा यात्रा गर्नु परिरहेको छ। वनपातले तानेर चित्राइदिएको छ। वनपातले तानेर त्यो रुखको हाँगाहरूले खोस्रेर है, काँडाहरूले भेटेर रुखको हाँगाहरूले काँडाहरूले भेट्टाएर ती खुट्टाहरूमा हातहरूमा चोट लागिरहेको छ, घाउहरू भइरहेको छ, रगत बगिरहेको छ। यस्तो स्थितिमा उनीहरू यात्रा गरिरहेका छन्। कुनै उत्साहको शून्यतामा पनि लस्कर बढिरहेको छ। केही छैन उत्साह। यहाँ पुगौँला, त्यहाँ गएर बास बसौँला, केही गरौँला, भोलिको एउटा सपना सबै बिर्सिसकेका छन्। त्यो कल्पना पनि छैन तिनीहरूको मनमा। तर पनि त्यो उत्साह बिनाको एउटा लस्कर, कुनै एउटा उत्साह लिएर होइन, कुनै एउटा उद्देश्य लिएर होइन, तर कहाँ हिँडेको, के को लागि हिँडेको भन्ने कुराको त्यो हिम्मत पनि हारिसकेर पनि यात्रा चाहिँ गरिरहेका छन्। त्यो लस्कर चाहिँ अगाडि गइरहेको छ। यो जस्तो विडम्बना, यो जस्तो दुःख, यो जस्तो व्यवस्था अरू के हुन सक्छ र इन्द्रबहादुर राईले खुबै राम्रो प्रकारले यो अवस्थालाई देखाउने चेष्टा गरेका छन्। सुम्प्रियाङ आइपुगेपछि फेरि सम्म 1300 भेटियो। अब उता साखेन गाउँतिर नलागी सबै उत्तर पूर्व लागे। ठाउँमा मरेकाहरू भेटिए। बिमारीहरूलाई रुगेर बस्नेहरू अझ ज्यादा थिए। सुबेदारले सोद्धथे, कति भयो यसरी तिमीले रुगेर बसेको? महिना दिन हुन लाग्यो हजुर, सिपाहीले उत्तर गर्थ्यो। अब कसो गर्ने त, पर्खिनु पर्छ हजुर। बाटोमा यसरी मान्छेहरू भेटिन्थ्यो। महिना दिनदेखि बिमारी रुगेर बसिरहेकाहरू भेटिन्थ्यो। बिचल्नी परेर बसिरहेको, खाद्यान्नको अभाव भइरहेको, बिमारीहरू साह्रो अवस्थामा विचलित भएर बसिरहेको, रुगेर बस्नेहरू पनि विचलित भएर बसिरहेको भेटिन्थ्यो। सुबेदारले सोध्थे बाटोमा, कति दिन भयो? महिना दिन भयो। के गर्ने त भन्दा अब रुगेर बस्नै पर्छ हजुर, बिमारी छोडेर जानु भएन। यस्तो प्रकारको उत्तरहरू पाउँथे। अब कतिलाई सोध्ने, कतिलाई यो प्रश्न पनि गर्ने, कति दिन सोधेर मन राख्ने, अब यो पनि एउटा चिन्ताको कुरा थियो। कतिलाई यो प्रश्न सोधेर मन राखिदिनु? सुबेदारले अब चिनेकाहरूलाई पनि नदेखि अघि हिँड्न थाले। कति सोध्नु, एउटै कुरा कति सोध्नु? सोधेर पनि त्यो घाउमा सहारा बनेर दबाई लगाइदिनु त छैन, कसैकोमा त्यो साधन छैन, कसैले त्यसको निम्ति केही उपाय गरिदिउँ भन्नु छैन, केही छैन उनीहरूको हातमा, त हिँड्नु मात्रै छ, केही पनि छैन। न त उनीहरूको हातमा दबाई छ, न त हातमा कुनै सुविधा छ, न ती बिमारीहरूको निम्ति स्वास्थ्य सुविधा छ, केही पनि छैन। तथापि ती बिमारीहरूको निम्ति सादर स्वरूप एउटा वचन बोल्नु त्यो एउटा बाध्यता सम्झन्छन् शिवजित अथवा सुबेदार। अनि उनी सोध्छन्, तर अब त चिनेकाहरूलाई पनि नचिनेको गरेर जस्तो गरेर उनी हिँड्न थाल्यो। 6 दिनपछि माइखोन आइपुगे। कतिवटा सिङ्गै डाँडाहरू नागेर एउटा अब टकापको नजिक आइपुगेका थिए। त्यस दिन सुबेदारको परिवार 1.5 माइल जति मात्र हिँडेर छिट्टै बिसायो। त्यस दिन हिँड्नै सकेनन्, 1.5 माइल जति मात्र हिँडेर त्यस दिन छिट्टै बिसायो। झोलामा अलिकति केही बोकेर एक्लै हिँड्दै साँझमा नन्दु त्यहाँ आइपुग्यो। झोलामा अलिकति केही बोकेर साँझमा एउटा केटो नन्दु त्यहाँ आइपुग्यो। एक्लै सोधे सुबेदारले, थियो साथी पनि एउटा थियो मात्रै भन्यो उसले, अरू केही भन्न सकेन। उसले भन्यो, 5 दिन उताको बाटोमा बिमारी भयो, के गर्नु, एक दिनभरि मैले बोकेर हिँडाएँ। त्यहाँदेखि म आफै थलिएँ। त्यस पछाडि म बोक्नै नसक्ने अवस्थामा पुगेँ। एउटा खाली गोदाम जस्तो भेटेर दुवै बस्यौँ त्यहाँभित्र। उसलाई सियारी रहेँ, यति दिन पर्खेर सियारेँ भन्ने हिसाबै आउँदैन। कति दिन एउटा गोदाम जस्तोमा राखेर यति दिन बेसी सियारेँ, यति बेसी सियारेँ, त्यसको हिसाबै छैन। चामल सकिसकेको थियो, साथीलाई स्याहार्दा चामल पनि सकिसकेको थियो। बाटो छेउदेखि अघि जानेहरूलाई चामल मागेर पनि उसलाई रुँगिरहेँ। बाटो छेउदेखि अगाडि जानेहरूलाई पनि मागेर के गरेँ, चामल मागेर भए पनि स्याहार गरेँ। मान्छेहरू गइरहेछन्, जो हिँड्दैछन् उनीहरूले त दिँदैछन्, अलिअलि केही छ भने दिँदै जाँदैछन्। गइरहेछन्, अगाडि बढिरहेका छन्। हिँड्नेहरू कम हुँदै गए। रातभरि विचार गरेँ। अब हिँड्नेहरू कम हुन थाले। एक दिन त त्यो यात्रा सकिन्छ, अथवा ती हिँड्नेहरू आउन छोड्छन्, त्यो बाटो भएर आउन छोड्छन्। त्यसपछि के गर्ने, के खाने, त्यसपछि साथीलाई के खुवाउने, आफू के खाने। अनि त्यस पछाडि यात्रा गर्दा त आफू त एक्लो हुन्छ। त्यस पछाडि आफूसँग कोही पनि रहँदैन। अनि आफ्नै पनि जीवन अब बाँच्ने हो कि नबाँच्ने हो, अथवा कुन अवस्थामा चल्ने हो, यस्तो खालको एउटा सङ्कटको स्थिति सृजना भएपछि उसले विचार गर्यो। अनि सुबेदारले सोधे, उसले भन्यो, बिहान उठेर साथीहरूलाई भने म चामल लिएर आउँछु। म बाहिर निस्केँ, म फर्केर गइनँ, सिधा यतै आएँ। चामल लिएर आउँछु है भनेर साथीहरूलाई भनिराखेर निस्केको, तर म चामल लिएर त्यो घरमा, त्यो गोदाममा फर्केर गइनँ, म यतै आएँ। सुबेदारले आँखा झारे। तिम्रो दोष छैन, तिनले भने। एक दिन मनमा कुरा खेलाएर मौन भए, अनि फेरि जोड दिएर भने, तिम्रो दोष छैन। के चाहिँ गर्नु? सुबेदारले सोचे, धेरै मनमा कुरा खेलाए, धेरै मनमा सोचे, धेरै कुरा विचार गरे, गमे, अनि भने तिम्रो दोष छैन। अब त्यहाँ बसेको भएदेखि उसले ती हिँड्ने मान्छेहरू पनि सकिसकेपछि कसलाई मागेर खुवाउन सक्ने थियो होला र, कसलाई मागेर दिन सक्ने थियो होला र। उसले आफ्नो जीवन बचाउनको निम्ति यति दिन स्याहारेर बसेका साथीहरूलाई छोडेर, यत्रो दिनसम्म स्याहार गरेर राखेका ती साथीहरू, बिमारी साथीहरूलाई छोडेर आउनु पर्यो। ती बिमारी साथीहरू जो उठ्नै नसक्ने अवस्थामा थिए, तिनीहरूको के हाल भयो होला। भोकै तडपेर सायद मर्नु पर्यो होला। भोकै तडपेर तिनीहरूको जीवनको अन्त भयो होला। यस्तो बाटामा कयौँ घटनाहरू घटे, कयौँ मान्छेहरू यसरी बाटोमा मर्नु पर्यो, बाटोमा बिजोग हुनु पर्यो। बाटोमा यति हरिबिजोग भयो मानिसहरूको, यी खाने कुराको अभाव, बिमारीले दबाई नपाएको अवस्था, हैजाले मानिसहरू लाचार हुनु परेको स्थिति। यस्तो स्थितिमा पनि खोइ हाम्रो निम्ति मानव अधिकार, खोइ हाम्रो निम्ति सुरक्षा, खोइ हाम्रो निम्ति राजनैतिक सुरक्षा, खोइ हाम्रो निम्ति सुविधा, खोइ हाम्रो निम्ति सरकारले हेरिदिएको, खोइ हाम्रो निम्ति एउटा उचित व्यवस्था। यहाँनिर कस्तो एउटा विडम्बना, कस्तो एउटा व्यवस्था। ती भागेर आउने नेपालीहरूले, बर्माबाट ती लखेटिएर आएका नेपालीहरूले जङ्गलमा, ती बीच बाटोमा यात्रा गर्ने क्रममा भोग्नु परेको कठिनता, भोग्नु परेको दुःख, भोग्नु परेको मर्मलाई खुबै मजाले, खुबै मर्मस्पर्शी ढङ्गमा यहाँनिर डाक्टर इन्द्रबहादुर राईले यो कथामा दर्शाउने चेष्टा गरेका छन्। यो कथामा हाम्रो मानिसहरूले भोग्नु परेको व्यथालाई, हाम्रो मानिसहरूको आफ्नै कथालाई, आफ्नै जीवनको कथालाई, यथार्थ कथालाई, साँचो कथालाई जस्ताको तस्तै टिपेर इन्द्रबहादुर राईले देखाउने चेष्टा गरेका छन्। जयमाया आफू मात्र लेखापानी आइपुगी शीर्षक कथामा। र यसभन्दा अगाडि मैले अघिल्लो अध्यायमा केही बताएँ, आज मैले केही भागहरूमाथि व्याख्या गरेँ र अन्तिम अझै एउटा क्लासमा मात्र यो कथा सकिन्छ। अन्तिम एउटा सेसन अथवा अन्तिम एउटा फेरि म क्लास लिनेछु, त्यसमा फेरि विद्यार्थीहरूलाई रहल भागमाथि जानकारी गराइनेछ। यो लामो कथा छ, तथापि कथा अत्यन्तै मर्मस्पर्शी छ, मनलाई छुने कथा छ। हाम्रो मानिसहरूले भोग्नु परेको दुःख र व्यथालाई यो कथाले दर्शाउने चेष्टा गरेको छ, हाम्रो स्थितिलाई दर्शाउने चेष्टा गरेको छ, हाम्रो सुरक्षालाई लिएर, हाम्रो समस्यालाई लिएर, हाम्रो अधिकारलाई लिएर, हाम्रो व्यवस्था र हाम्रो लाजारीपनलाई लिएर खुबै गहन अध्ययन र मनन गरेर इन्द्रबहादुर राईले हाम्रो अघि, पाठकको अगाडि, विद्यार्थीहरूको अगाडि यो कथा पस्कने काम गरेका छन्। र जयमाया आफू मात्र लिखापानी आइपुगी शीर्षक कथाको अन्तमा जयमाया आफू मात्र लिखापानी आइपुगी अथवा पुगेको सम्मको वर्णन हामी अर्को क्लासमा गर्नेछौँ। अहिलेलाई विद्यार्थीहरूलाई आफ्नो अध्ययनलाई जारी राख्ने र यो कथालाई राम्रोसँग प्रत्येक लाइनलाई, प्रत्येक वाक्यलाई राम्रोसँग अध्ययन गर्ने म आग्रह गर्दछु। र यहाँबाट जुन अघि मैले भने सुबेदारले आँखा झारे, यो प्रश्न आउँछ विद्यार्थीहरूलाई, यो अवतरण धेरैचोटि बोर्ड इक्जाममा आएको देखिन्छ। सुबेदारले आँखा झारे, तिम्रो दोष छैन। तिनले भने एकछिन मनमा कुरा खेलाएर मौन भए अनि फेरि जोड दिएर भने तिम्रो दोष छैन, तिम्रो दोष छैन। यो लाइन घरिघरि दोहोरिन्छ, यो अवतरण घरिघरि दोहोरिन्छ अनि यहाँबाट प्रश्न सोधिएको हुन्छ। विद्यार्थीहरूले यी प्रश्नहरूको राम्रोसँग तयारी गरेर, कथा पनि राम्रोसँग अध्ययन गरेर अर्को वर्षको परीक्षाको निम्ति तयार बसिदिने आग्रह गर्दै आज म यहीँबाट बिदा लिन चाहन्छु। धन्यवाद।
Okay, good afternoon, students. Welcome back to your online live classes. Today I'm here, I'll be taking up political science, okay? And the topic for today is organs of the government, that is the judiciary, okay? Now, before this topic, I think we've done the organs of government, legislature, then we have the organs of the government, the executive. Is it clear? So today's topic is the third organ of the government, that is the judiciary. Now, before starting with the topic here today, I would firstly like to tell you about the syllabus. Is it clear? Now, the syllabus in this particular chapters are meaning and functions of judiciary, clear? Then you have conditions of independence of judiciary. Then you have judiciary in India and USA, and composition powers of Indian Supreme Court, American Supreme Court. Then you have judicial review, principles, meanings, maxims are the same. Then you have just the meaning of judicial activism and the meaning of judicial restraint. Now, why I have given you the syllabus is because, as you already know, there is a reduction in the syllabus, clear? The chapters are the same, but from each and every chapter, clear, certain subtopics have been scrapped up or has been reduced. Understood? So from this particular chapter, that is only chapter legislator I am talking about, this is the syllabus for the entire chapter, that is the judiciary. Clear? So firstly, today I'll start with the meaning and the importance of judiciary. Now, as I've already mentioned, three organs of the government are there, that is the legislative, the executive and the judiciary. Clear? Because our government, our entire administration, it functions with the help of three organs, because government is there, but government cannot function all alone. Understood? Government functions with the help of three organs. Understood? As I've already mentioned, legislative, executive, judiciary. Now, each organ here has got its own function, its own role to play. For example, Legislator, the first organ of the government. What does it do? It makes the laws. When it makes laws for the entire country, it makes laws for the entire nation. Clear? The second organ, that is the executive. Now, whatever laws which are made by the legislator has to be implemented, clear, has to be put into use, or you can say practice, by the executive. So, here, the executive's function is executing, or you can say implementing the laws which are made by the legislator. Clear? Then we have the third organ, that is what I've mentioned here. The third organ of the government is the judiciary. Now, what does the judiciary do? The judiciary, apart from settling disputes, clear, acts as an arbiter. Apart from that, here, judiciary also acts as a justice-giving body. Clear? So, three organs, you can say, they're interlinked or interrelated to one another. This means if one organ is removed, the entire administration gets affected. Clear? So, for a government to function properly, effectively, efficiently, three organs are a must. So, in today's class, I'll be basically dealing with only the organ judiciary. Clear? So, first and foremost, the meaning of judiciary. The meaning, as I've already mentioned. So, let's discuss about the meaning of the judiciary, as you can see it in the slide. Meaning as well as the importance. Clear? So, meaning, as I've already mentioned, judiciary, the third, but one of the most important organs of the government. Now, here the question is, why does the people consider it to be one of the most important organs of the government? Firstly, it acts as a justice-giving body. Clear? And why the people consider it to be one of the most important organs of the government is because the people, okay, they are totally dependent upon the judiciary. Why? Because number one reason, judiciary protects our fundamental rights. Clear? Which means we people, we cannot be deprived of a fundamental rights till the time the judiciary is there. Why? Because if any citizen, be it rich or poor, be it educated or uneducated, everyone is entitled to enjoy all their basic rights and liberties. Clear? So, if we are deprived of fundamental rights, we can always go to the court and ask for justice. Clear? So, this way, the judiciary, it protects our fundamental rights. Now, not only does the judiciary protect our fundamental rights, but judiciary also tries to protect our constitution. Now, here the question is, how does the judiciary protect our constitution? Here, judiciary tries to protect our constitution by checking, clear, and by seeing to it that laws passed by the legislator as well as the executive are only constitutional laws. Clear? Which means here, no law can be passed which is unconstitutional. Now, here, students, the term unconstitutional means no law can be passed which is against the rules and regulations of the Constitution. Clear? So, whoever is passing the laws, they should be keeping in mind that the laws passed need to be constitutional, means as per the rules and regulations of the Constitution. Clear? So, because of these various reasons, judiciary is considered to be a very, very important organ of the government, though it is the third most organ of the government. Okay. Now, I come to the functions of judiciary. As you can see it here, okay, 6 functions. Now, one more thing I would like to tell you here. In your book, there are several functions mentioned. Understood? But you can study any 6 because I think by now you know the question pattern. Your structured questions carry 12 marks, 6 marks each. Clear? So, usually functions, they either ask 3 functions specifically. So, 3 functions with explanation carry 6 marks. Okay, or you can mention 6 functions, okay, that is 6 subheadings with short explanations. Clear? So, go through any 6 functions. Now, today I have selected here 6 functions, that is administration of justice, interpretation and application of law, role in lawmaking, then you have equity legislation, then you have protection of rights, and you have the guardian of the Constitution. Clear? The last two, that is protection of rights, guardian of Constitution, I've already mentioned in brief. Clear? Now see the first one, administration of justice. Now here, as you already know, the main, and the important function of the judiciary is to give justice. Clear? Means to administer justice. So here, it is the judiciary, clear, who decides, that is after a trial, if a person is considered to be guilty. Clear? Which means, if I have committed a crime, if I am considered to be a criminal, it is the judiciary who decides what kind of punishment, clear, and for how long the person is to be punished. In your book, the term mentioned here is quantity and quality of punishment. Means quantity means for how long the person is to be punished. Clear? Quality of punishment means what kind of punishment is to be given. Now here, the punishment also, for your information, depends upon the type of crime he has committed. Clear? So here, administration of justice means the judiciary decides, since, as I've already mentioned in the beginning, it is a justice-giving body. Clear? So judiciary decides what kind of punishment, for how long the person is to be punished, etc. Now, not only this, but if I am an aggrieved citizen, means if I am the victim of the particular crime, then what can I do? I can also go to the judge or the court and I can seek or ask for justice. Clear? Because ultimately, the main function of the judiciary is to give justice. Clear? So this is the first function of the organ, judiciary. Clear? The second function here is interpretation and application of laws. As I said, three organs are there: legislative, executive, and judiciary. Clear? Like I have already mentioned, legislator makes the laws, executive implements the laws, and judiciary basically acts as a justice-giving body. Now, apart from acting as a justice-giving body, here judiciary also interprets and applies the laws. Why? Because here one of the basic and the most important function of the judiciary is to apply and interpret laws to specific, means special cases. Is it clear? For example, here one of the highest courts, is the Supreme Court of India as well as in USA. So Supreme Court of India, Supreme Court of USA is considered to be these courts are considered to interpret the laws of the Constitution. Now here the reason why is because both in India and USA, Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Now here the question arises, why the supreme law of the land? Because both in India and USA, Constitution is a purely written Constitution. Clear? So in these two countries, Constitution has to be safeguarded, it has to be protected. Clear? Second function. The third function is role in lawmaking. Now here, as I've already mentioned, actually lawmaking powers of the legislator. Clear? But here what does judiciary do? Directly cannot make laws, but indirectly judiciary has a role in law making. Clear? Now, indirectly, how does judiciary make the laws? So here, when the judiciary conducts this process of judicial review, you know what is judicial review? The judicial review is a procedure which is conducted by the judges of the Supreme Court, High Court, or the judiciary. Clear? And when is judicial review conducted? Specially to check the laws which are passed by the legislator. Now, here, why is judicial review conducted? Mainly to see that the laws passed are constitutional or not. Clear? So here, indirectly now here, how does judiciary play a role in lawmaking? Because when judiciary is checking the laws, sometimes there might be a certain law which is unconstitutional. So that part of the law is rejected and declared as an invalid law or null and void, which means of no use at all. So here, when the judiciary is checking the validity of the laws passed by the legislator, so indirectly it plays a role in law making, which is the third function. Okay. Now you come to the fourth function, that is equity legislation. Here, equity legislation means where a judge, clear, gives a decision on a particular case using his own intelligence, clear, and here what kind of a decision or a judgment does a judge give? Fair, free, okay, without being impartial towards anyone. That is called equity legislation. Clear? Then the next one you have protection of rights. Now this I just mentioned in brief while I was doing importance of judiciary. Clear? Now here, judiciary also protects our fundamental rights. And I've mentioned why should our fundamental rights be protected? Because that is our birthright, our basic rights. Because every individual, since we Indians belong to a democratic country, clear? So we Indians, we are entitled to enjoy all our fundamental rights. So our rights need to be protected. Who protects it? Judges. Why? Because we citizens, we cannot be deprived of their rights. Now here, in order to protect our rights, clear, the judges of Supreme Court or maybe the High Court, they issue writ. Okay. Now these writs, it is an official order which is passed mainly to protect our fundamental rights. Now you need not go into detail the writs, but you just remember that some of the writs issued are your habeas corpus, your mandamus, quo warranto, certiorari. These are the writs mainly issued in order to protect our fundamental rights. Understood? Now, who issues these writs? It can be judges of Supreme Court. It can be judges of the High Court. Okay? Then you come to the next function. That is the guardian of the Constitution. Now, here again, I've already mentioned, judiciary's again another function is to protect and to guard our Constitution. Now, why does the judiciary need to protect and guard our Constitution, especially in countries like India and USA? Because India, USA has a purely written constitution. Is it clear? So therefore, our constitution is considered to be the supreme law of the land. Supreme law means the highest law of the land. Okay? So as a result of which, our constitution needs to be guarded. Our constitution needs to be protected. That is why, okay, when you study about a constitution, there also doesn't mention that no one can violate, means go against or break the rules and regulations of the constitution. Okay. Here, judiciary again guards and protects our constitution. Again, I've done this. How? By checking whether laws passed are constitutional or not. Understood? Because only those laws can be passed which are as per the provisions of the Constitution. Understood? Because any law which is against the Constitution, those laws are considered to be invalid, null and void, which means of no use at all. Okay, so this is the functions of the judiciary. Now, just one more function, though I have not mentioned it in the slide, one more function I'd like to tell you about is judiciary's special role in the federation. Why this topic? Because from this particular topic, you also usually get a short question. That is, what is the special role of judiciary in a federation? Means, what role does judiciary play specially in a federation? Now, what does federation mean? Where there is division of powers, okay, where there are two sets of government, okay, center and the state. Now, here, in such a situation, the judiciary plays a very, very important role. Why? Because whenever there is division of powers, there are more chances of disputes, deadlocks, etc., conflicts, etc. Clear? So, in order to solve these deadlocks, disputes, conflicts, the role of the judiciary is a must. Because ultimately, what is role of the judiciary? Settler of disputes. You can also say arbiter of disputes, a justice-giving body, etc. Clear? So these are, in totality, the functions of the judiciary. Now again, I've mentioned there are several other functions there in your textbook. You can do any 6. Clear? Then we come to the next topic, that is some essential steps for securing the independence of judiciary. Means how can independence of judiciary be maintained? Now this is with reference to India as well as in USA. Clear? Now before that, I like to tell you about what exactly does independence of judiciary mean. Now here, independence of judiciary means where judiciary enjoys a very independent position. Independent, why? Because here judiciary should be able to work without the interference of legislator, without the interference of the executive. Clear? Which means here judiciary should be able to give independent decisions on its own. Clear? Without the interference, without the disturbance of other 2 organs of the government. Then only when there is no interference, no disturbance, then only will the judiciary be able to give fair and partial justice. Okay? Now I come to, these are the measures, clear, required how independence of judiciary can be maintained in India as well as in USA. Okay? Now the first one is a sound, as you see, a sound method of appointment of judges. Now this means, I think everyone must be knowing this, anyone cannot become a judge. Or you can say anyone cannot be appointed as a judge. Okay? Now I'll take for example here, like for example, here, okay, appointment of the judges by the president, okay, or executive, which is mentioned in your book. This system is considered to be the best system. That is, method of appointment of judges by the executive, okay, or by the president is considered to be one of the best method of appointment. Now the reason why, because again as I said, no one can easily become a judge. Clear? That quality has to be maintained, okay, so that, okay, if a person is appointed as a judge, he should be able to give decisions, okay, using his intelligence, fairness, just, etc. Okay. Now example I'll give you here. For example, in USA, clear, the judges are appointed by the president, clear, but all such appointments made by the president in USA has to be approved by the Senate. Clear? Okay. So in USA, judges may be appointed by the president, but this require an approval by the Senate. Whereas in India, clear, in India also, judges are appointed by the president, but after consulting with the Chief Justice and the judges of the Supreme Court. Clear? So this is the appointment of the judges. The first one. Second one is high qualifications, knowledge, experience in the legal profession. Like I said, anyone cannot become a judge easily. Why? Because you need to have the knowledge, you need to have that experience, training, skill in which field? The legal field. And you are supposed to be on which background? The legal background. Why? Because you ought to know, or you should be having enough legal knowledge. Because only when you have legal knowledge, then can you give fair judgment, a fair decision to the people. Clear? Because it's simple, because without legal knowledge, Clear? Without having any kind of a legal background, you will not be able to give judgment or decision on a particular case or a particular matter. Clear? So qualification, knowledge, skill, etc., training, etc. is a must. Okay. Then we have the third one, that is long and a stable tenure. Now, why should, the question here is, why should the judges have a long and a stable tenure? Clear? Now, for example, if you know, in India, judges appointed till the age of retirement, 65 years, means after that they retire. Clear? Whereas in USA, the age is 70, but they remain in office till the time they show good behavior, good conduct, etc. Clear? But this long and a stable tenure is a must. Why? Because they worry about their future. Clear? Their financial worries. Clear? So, if they remain in office or remain in post for a longer time, it's a simple logic. They will be able to earn more and more. Clear? So, the more they earn, they worry less about their materialistic life. They worry less about the future. They worry less about their finances. Clear? And if they have a short tenure, what do? Within that short term, within that short tenure, they try to earn more and more. Clear? So, in this need to earn more and more, what do they start doing? They start using corrupt means and practices in order to earn more and more within a short term of time. Clear? So, here, to prevent all these corrupt practices, clear? To prevent all these illegal practices, the judges should be given a long and a stable tenure so that within that long span of time, they are able to earn enough so that they don't have to worry about their future. Clear? This is the next one. Then, the next one here is difficult method of removal of judges. Now, as you know, judges, okay, belongs to that one of the top or the high ranking officers. Now, as you already know, all high ranking officers, including a president, including judges of the Supreme Court, judges of the High Court, they cannot be easily removed from their post. Clear? Now, even if they are removed only through a very difficult process of impeachment. Now, this term impeachment, very important. Clear? Because judges of the Supreme Court, clear, in India as well as in USA, they can be removed. It's not that they cannot be removed. They can be removed, but only through the process of impeachment. Here, I'll be mentioning about how in India judges are removed, how in USA judges are removed. Because in both the countries, they can be removed through the process of impeachment. Now, first, I'll take India. Now, India, okay, in India, a judge can be impeached. What is the procedure? Now, this procedure is that we have to get 2/3 majority votes from the Lok Sabha, 2/3 majority votes from the Rajya Sabha. Then can the president remove the judge from his post. Clear? Okay. Whereas in USA, procedure the same, impeachment, only difference is here, okay, the cases are being conducted in the House of Representatives, but here the final decision in USA is made by the Senate. That is why here also like to tell you one thing, Senate is also known as the court of impeachment, because whatever proceedings, everything is done by the House of Representatives, but the final decision regarding impeachment is given by the Senate, which is why Senate is also considered or known as the court of impeachment. Clear? So here, difficult method of removal of judges, very difficult, only through impeachment, both in India and in USA. Okay. Then the next one is high salary. Now, I think this everyone knows that the judges, especially of the Supreme Court, clear, they get highly paid. Clear? Which means they get a very, very good salary. Now, again, here, why should a high salary be given to them? Because again, they are given a very good and a handsome salary. Why? Again, so that they do not use corrupt practices. They do not use illegal means, so that they don't have to worry about their finances, especially in the future, especially after the age of their retirement. Clear? So apart from high salary, I'll also be doing healthy service condition, means apart from a high salary, other perks. Perks means allowances, other benefits, clear, are also provided to a judge. Again, reason, so that they don't have to worry about their future. They don't have to think about their finances. Clear? Financial worries are there. Clear? So if they get a very good salary, they do not have to worry about all this, especially after the age of their retirement. Clear? So high salary, healthy service benefits, or healthy service conditions. Then the next one is adequate and good after retirement benefit. Now here, as I've already mentioned, be it a judge of a Supreme Court or be it a judge of a High Court, clear, they do retire at a particular point of time. Okay, but here, after retirement also, they get benefits so that they can lead a happy and a retired life. Now, what is the good after retirement benefit? Pensions. Clear? So, pensions are given to them so that, again, they don't have to worry about the future, think about the future. Okay, so after retirement also, for example, in USA, the judges continue to receive their full salaries as well as allowances even after the age of their retirement. Whereas in India, okay, a certain amount of money is being given to them in the form of pensions. Okay, so this is why, because so that they lead a happy, contented, retired life. Okay, so this is adequate and good after retirement benefit. Now the second one is provision for no practice or service after retirement. Means the retirement age, as I said, 70 and 65, India, USA. Okay, now once they retire from the service, means once they retire as a judge of a Supreme Court, both in India and USA, the judges are not allowed to practice. Means they cannot continue practicing in the Supreme Court, or they cannot even open a private chamber of their own, which means they retire means they have to completely retire from their post. Here, one thing is done, that is, that is judges of the Supreme Court in India and USA, what they can be done is they can be appointed as members of different inquiry commissions. Clear? That can be done, but they will not be allowed to work in the Supreme Court and any other higher courts. Clear? Then we have the last one, that is separation of the judiciary from the executive. There's a misprint there. It's from the executive here. Now, in India, okay, as you know, is a parliamentary form of government. Clear? Whereas USA is a presidential form of government. Clear? So USA, there is separation of powers. India, since we have a parliamentary form, no separation of powers. But here, judiciary should be kept completely away, completely, can say, separated from the executive. Why? Because reason is, judiciary should be able to give an independent decision on its own. Why? Because here, a judge, clear, cannot become a prosecutor and a judge at the same time, which means one person should be given one duty or one task at a particular time. That means I cannot become the police as well as a judge at the same time. That is why judiciary should be completely away, completely separated from the executive as well as from the legislature. Reason? Because judiciary here, okay, needs to give independent decisions on its own. Not only independent, but an impartial and fair judgment on its own. Okay, so in today's class, I've covered meaning of judiciary, okay, importance just in a gist. Then I've covered functions of judiciary, clear. Then the next one that I've done is here, conditions essential for independence of judiciary. Clear? So students, this much for today. In the next class, I'll be doing a comparative study, clear, between the judicial system of India and the judicial system of USA.